number 10, here we go. Notice that I'm doing order of operations because I have different operations here. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is rewrite it. So 24.33 minus 2.5 times 7. According to order of operations, what must I do first? I'm going to multiply. So I'm going to go 2.5 times 7. Do that on your calculator. What do you get? 17.5. Has that been verified?
Yes. Yes.
What did you say again? 17.5. Okay, so write that right underneath it. Bring down your subtraction sign. Bring down 24.33. Now you're going to, with your calculator, go 24.33 minus 17.5. What do you get?
6.83.
Has that been verified?
Yes. Yep.
6.83. Check it with your answer key. Looks great, so you can box your answer.
Looks like a better choice here.
Okay, next up is number 11. According to order of operations, which one am I going to do first? I'm going to do exponents. So I have 4.5 squared. How do I do that on just a normal regular calculator if I don't have that? Marcus?
4.5 times 4.5.
Okay, so on your calculator, go 4.5 times 4.5. What'd you get?
16.25.
20.25. Okay, bring down your plus sign. Bring down your 3.9. Now with your calculator, go ahead and add those two together.
I'm going to sit back and relax.
I need some popcorn.
What did you end up with?
28.15.
I didn't quite hear it correctly.
28.15.
Can't be.
I got 24.15.
24.15.
Yeah.
Check it with your answer key.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, so box your answer.
Finally, I'm right.
I'm doing that.
All right, go to number 12 and rewrite your problem. Make sure you rewrite it correctly. Okay. Order of operations, what am I going to do first? Parentheses. So within my parentheses, I start order of operations over again. So within my parentheses, what am I going to do first? Multiplication. So I'm going to go 2 times 1.2. Do that. What do you get? 2 point what? 2.4. Bring everything else down, including the parentheses. Why can I not get rid of my parentheses yet?
Because you still have a problem in the parentheses.
Because I still have a problem to do in my parentheses. So let's do 18.4 minus 2.4. What'd you get?
148.
Can't be.
Well, the answer is
18.4 minus 2.4 is 16. Now, I'm not going to bring down my parentheses, but what do I need to add there in place of it?
Multiplication symbol.
Why my multiplication symbol? Can
Because
anybody explain why?
every time you write something from parentheses equals multiplication.
Okay, so a lot of people want to answer that one. Any number or letter next to parentheses tells me I'm going to multiply.
148.
So go ahead and do that. 9.25 times 16. What do you get?
100.
I need it verified.
1.48.
1.48.
1.48.
Yep.
Okay, and check that with your answer key.
It's correct. It's chalk.
1.48 is not the correct answer.
It's 148.
9.25 times 16 is not 1.48. It's 148.
Yeah, that's what I got. I was really confused. Yeah, that's what I got. I was like, wait. That's what I got. Then Trevor
Okay,
said,
box your answer.
Yeah, I changed it.
1.48.
Okay, Jeff had $46.18 in his wallet Monday morning.
Jeff.
He gave half of his money to his brother. He then bought 2 donuts for 75 cents each and a cup of coffee for $2.99. How much money did Jeff have left?
I did.
Okay. The first thing is I'm going to go through and I'm going to underline any important information. So first thing would be, well, how much money did he start out with? He had 46.18. And then the next thing I would say is, wow, half of his money he gave to his brother. That's going to be a big deal. And then he bought 2 donuts for 75 cents each. And that cup of coffee, so it was just 1 cup for $2.99. And then I have to figure out how much money he has left. How much does he have left? So I'm definitely going to have to do more than one thing here. What's the first thing I have to do?
You have to figure out.
Yeah.
How much.
Write down 46.18.
Okay, so I'm going to write down how much he's going to start out with over here.
Yeah.
And by the time I get done, what am I going to subtract from that?
Minus 2.9.
How much he's going to spend, right?
Yeah.
Do I know how much money he spent yet?
Yes.
I don't. So that's what I have to figure out. So I'm going to leave this little subtraction open because I've got to come back to it at the very end, okay? So let's go figure out how much money he spent. So let's start here. He gave half of his money to his brother. So I'm going to take 46.18 and I'm going to divide it by 2 because dividing it by 2 tells me the half, okay? So you go ahead and solve, divide by 2, and then we'll... Okay, so you should have discovered that 2309 went to his brother, correct?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. All right, now let's do the next one. So let's get a list going. So he spent 2309, okay, and I'm just going to keep adding numbers together. He then bought 2 donuts for 75 cents each. So now I have to figure out how much is 2 donuts. So I could do this 2 ways. I could do 0.75 times 2, or
1.5
plus 0.75. I could add 2 of them or just times by 2. So go ahead and do that and we'll check that. Okay, so we discovered that we spent he spent $1.50 on donuts. So let's add that to our list. And remember, I'm adding decimals, so I have to make sure and line up my decimals. And my last one is a cup of coffee for $2.99. Do I have to do anything with that?
Nope.
No, I can just add $2.99 to my list of numbers that I'm going to add together of how much he spent. Now, at this point, I'm going to let you do a time saver. Since you showed me that you lined up your decimals and you lined up your digits, I'm going to let you use your calculator to add those 3 numbers together. So go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we found out that he has spent $27.58. Is that how much money he has left? No. So I have to take how much he spent and subtract it from 46.18 to figure out how much he ends up having left. So go ahead and rewrite that and subtract it and see how much Jeff has left.
I got 18.
What? It's still going, I think.
It's not, I paused it.
Yeah, I got 18.6. Is that the
Oh, it is. Sorry. I meant to pause it. I did not. Okay, so did you get your answer?
18.6.
No.
18.60.
Zero.
That's what.
Now how much money did Jeff have left? We've got to put a dollar sign in front of this.
$18.60.
$18.60. Check that with your answer key.
Correct.
And it's correct.
He spent a lot of money.
He did. Okay, we are going to go to number 16. Notice our sign is addition. So we need to rewrite this problem. So let's write 4 2/7 plus 2 9/14. Some things that I want you to notice is that I've lined up my whole numbers and I've lined up my fractions. And I put in a sign. Sometimes people forget to write the sign, but if you forget the sign, you won't remember what to do. And we definitely need to know what operation.
We skipped 14.
Okay, one thing that I have to start out with doing after I rewrite my problem is do what? Find
The common
denominator. So I have a 7 and I have a 14. So to start out with, I always say, can the little denominator go into the big denominator evenly?
Yes.
And it can. So that's going to be my common one. So let's write 14 next to it. If this one's going to be a 14, then I can just rewrite it. And now I say 7 times what number is 14?
2.
So times 2 on the bottom means I have times 2 on the top. So now I have 4/14 plus 9/14. When I add fractions and they have common denominators, what am I going to add?
The top.
Just the tops. So 4 plus 9 is 13. And my denominator will stay the same. So it'll be 14. So I've added up my fractions. Now I can add my whole numbers. I have 4 plus 2 is 6. My final step is to look back and say,
Can it get smaller?
can it get smaller? Is 13/14 get any smaller? Well, 13 is a prime number, so the only way it can get smaller is if the other number, the denominator, can be divided by 13 evenly. And that is not the case. So 13/14 should be as small as it can go. Look at your answer key. Is 6 and 13/14 the answer?
Yep.
Okay, box your final answer.
18.
And let's move on to number 18. We need to write it down again. So I have a whole number of 6 minus a fraction. What I have to make sure and do is remember, all the whole numbers have to be together, all the fractions have to be together. If there isn't one, I have to leave space for one. So since 6 didn't have a fraction, I'm just going to leave this space open. Okay? Since down here, my minus, I don't have a whole number, but I do have a fraction, I'm going to put it over here and draw my line. Okay? So this is just a blank to be able to put in my fraction. It's just a placeholder. I want to erase that. It's not working.
Well, that's because the media research isn't like right.
Okay, so we'll just write our fraction on top of that one. Okay, so since I need to subtract, and I don't have anything to subtract from, I have to go over to my whole number and borrow. So I'm going to cross out my 6, and it's going to become a 5. I borrowed a whole number. Remember, it's going to turn into a superhero fraction. It's going to come over here. My 1 is going to transform into a fraction. What fraction should it transform into?
8/8.
8/8. How did I know to choose 8/8 as my fraction instead of 9/9 or 20/20?
8/8 is equal to 3.
Because the bottom denominator on the bottom one is 8.
That's right. And I don't want to have to do any more changing, do I? So this saves me time. There's lots of fractions that equal one whole, so I'm going to pick the one that has the same denominator, 8/8. Okay? Now that I have common denominators, I can subtract. So I subtract my numerators. 8 minus 3 is 5, and my denominator will stay the same. Now I'm going to subtract. Is there anything to subtract from 5?
Nope.
Nope, so bring it down. My last step is to say,
It's good.
If it can it be simplified?
can it be simplified? Can
No,
5/8 be simplified?
Maybe.
No, 5's a prime number, and it can't go into 8 evenly, so I know I'm done. Check your answer key. Is 5 and 5/8 the answer?
Yes.
Okay, so I know I'm ready to move on to the next one.
On
Okay, so I see that I'm subtracting fractions. I need to rewrite my problem so I can line up my whole numbers and my fractions. So I have 8 3/5 and minus 2 1/3. Notice how I have my whole numbers in a column lined up and my fractions in a column lined up. My denominators are 3 and 5. Are they common?
No.
No. What is a common denominator? A least common denominator for 3 and 5? 15. So let's put a 15 as my denominator next to each denominator. Okay, so I'm going to go 3 times what number is 15? Times 5 on the bottom, so I have to times 5 on the top. 5 times what number is 15? 3. I do times 3 on the bottom, so I do times 3 on the top. Now I have 9/15 minus 5/15. So I'm going to subtract my numerators. 9 minus 5 is 4. Bring down your denominators.
8.
And then 8 minus 2 is 6.